What is going on, everyone? Welcome back in to Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, and if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe as well. So, since the college basketball season just wrapped up, I'll be doing videos in the off-season of news and happenings of what went down in the world of college basketball. I'll be calling it Behind the Arc Basketball News Beat on my channel. So today will be my first ever edition of Behind the Arc Basketball News Beat here on my channel. So it's basically a recap of what went down in the past week in the world of college basketball. But before I get into that, I'd like to let you guys know that I'm still doing the play-by-play stuff. I'll be doing it for the NBA playoffs, as I'll be back after my vacation next week. I should be back next Friday, April 19th, to do some more play-by-play of the NBA playoffs. So I'll be doing the NBA playoffs for the next 2 months or so for my channel, and then I'll be back doing play-by-play in November once again for the college basketball season once it tips off. But here we are with the first ever Behind the Arc Basketball News Beat here on my channel. Let's start it off with the Virginia Cavaliers. I'd like to give them a congratulations for winning the national title game back on Monday against Texas Tech, as Virginia won their first ever NCAA title. Also on Monday, it was announced that Virginia led the betting odds as the favorite to be 2020 champions for the tournament. This is according to the Caesars Palace Sportsbook out in Las Vegas. So, based on these Monday's odds from Caesars in Las Vegas, Virginia was the betting odds favorites at 5-1 odds to win the 2020 national title. Duke and Kentucky were tied for second with 8-1 odds. And Gonzaga came in in fourth with 10-1 odds. Michigan State came in fifth at 12-1 odds. Also on Monday, Duke's point guard Tre Jones announced on Twitter that he'll be returning to Duke for next season. We had a bunch of notable names that announced that they'll be entering the NBA draft this week. These names include Kentucky's leading scorer and leading rebounder, P.J. Washington. Also, Tennessee's leading scorer, Grant Williams. The trio of Michigan players who supposedly all are expected to hire agents. These three players from Michigan are Iggy Brazdeikis, Jordan Poole, and Charles Matthews, all entering the NBA draft. Also, Auburn's point guard Jared Harper announced that he's entering the NBA draft, same as Florida State Seminoles forward Mfiondu Kabengele, Arizona State's freshman Pac-12 Player of the Year Lou Dort, and Duke's R.J. Barrett as well. Other key players here that announced that they be entering the draft today include Big 12 Freshman Player of the Year Jackson Hayes of the Texas Longhorns, and also LSU's freshman guard Javonte Sparks. We also have Kentucky guard Keldon Johnson, who said that he'll enter the draft and also hire an agent, but also Keldon Johnson is also open to possibly returning to Kentucky as well. And also we had a bunch of coaching changes from this past week, so I'll go over that with you guys. So in the latest edition of this season's coaching carousel news, Nate Oates has left the Buffalo Bulls. He'll take over as the new head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tennessee's head coach Rick Barnes has decided to stay at Tennessee for another year. This is after UCLA had an interest in them as the program's next head coach, but Rick Barnes has decided to stay at Tennessee. UCLA finally announced their new head coach on Tuesday. 100 days after firing Steve Alford, UCLA agreed with Cincinnati Bearcats head coach Mick Cronin to a 6-year, $24 million contract. So Mick Cronin from the Cincinnati Bearcats will be the new head coach for the UCLA Bruins. Also, speaking of Steve Alford of UCLA, well, he's currently in the talks of possibly becoming the next head coach in the Nevada Wolfpack. So Steve Alford possibly could be the next head coach in Nevada. Also in head coaches news this week, Chris Mullin of the St. John's Red Storm. He stepped down as head coach this week after 4 years of being head coach. Chris Mullin posted a 59-73 record for St. John's as head coach for the program. So that's basically it. The wrap of the first ever Behind the Arc Basketball News Beat on my channel. Before you go, make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe as well. Comment if you like. I should be back with the NBA playoffs late next week. Most likely Friday, April 19th. I should be back doing play-by-play of an NBA playoff game. That's what I'll be doing on my channel with my live streams for the next 2 months. We'll be doing NBA playoff games, and then I'll be back in November once again with the college basketball play-by-play stuff. So before you go, make sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe as well, comment if you like. I'll have more videos out for you guys in the later weeks here Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube, but that's been the first ever edition here of the Behind the Arc Basketball News Beat on my channel. Hope you all enjoyed it. Cannot wait to do some more, as this has been Behind the Arc Basketball on YouTube.